What's up, everybody? I'm Steven from the Hills Maniacs, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the brand new NBC series that just premiered earlier this year and just wrapped up recently as of this recording, and that is The Hunting Party. So basically, if you don't know what this show is, it's about basically there's a facility that houses some of the most insane criminals and serial killers, those kind of people, even though the public assumes they're dead and that sort of thing. And that's kind of the whole mystery of the series, like who set this up and everything. And of course, things go awry, there's an explosion at the facility, and the criminals get out, and now the titular hunting party has to track down these criminals. So you got like an FBI profiler or a former profiler, whatever, in the main character, but her and her team have to try and catch these criminals and get them back to the facility or whatever before the public discovers that these people are still alive. So it's kind of intriguing in that regard, where it's like that's the whole premise of the series, them trying to hunt down these criminals again. And that's one of the things I liked about it, is that it feels like I'm watching an episode of like The Blacklist and Criminal Minds, like sort of mixed together, like because in Criminal Minds, they were a group of FBI profilers that are trying to take down some of these really sinister like serial killers, and that's the kind of level of criminals that these FBI profilers track down in that series. And then The Blacklist, of course, was about an FBI most wanted criminal who turns himself in and offers to assist the police in tracking down some criminals that they didn't even really know about, that are really high profile criminals, in exchange for sort of his immunity, I guess, but really he's secretly trying to like build up his criminal empire sometimes, or take out the competition, whatever. But that's what this show kind of feels like, a mix of those two things. And since those were two of my favorite shows that I was watching for a long time, that's what kind of drew me to this show as well. And I think what keeps the series really going is that the mystery of the whole thing, like first of all, who set up this facility, but then also who blew up the facility. It's actually called the Pit, so it's like who blew up the Pit, who let these criminals out, and why, that sort of thing. There's an overarching mystery through the whole thing, and that's why I think it keeps it intriguing and keeps it interesting, because they sort of unravel that mystery throughout each episode, as well as tracking down the criminal they're looking for. So it's kind of got all those pieces of like a perfect like mystery series, but also a cop show, like mixed with Criminal Minds and all that, like I said. And this mystery, kind of keeps it interesting. It keeps you invested in it, because I want to learn more about this as well, just like the people in the series. And of course, another thing too, they throw in the tension with the characters and everything, because like as things start to come to light, they start to learn more about what's actually going on, and if there's a conspiracy going on or whatever, they start to question each other, so there's that kind of tension there as well, because some of their motives are kind of secretive, and like they're acting a bit shady. So they have to kind of, sort of question each other, and you have that overall issue of like, can they trust each other or not, and that sort of thing. So there's like a mystery there as well. Like each character really has a secret past that they're trying to either avoid, or that has come to light, but they don't want anybody else to really find out about or whatever. So there's that kind of dynamic there, where like it's hard for them to work with each other because they're all keeping secrets from each other, and that plays into the show really well and keeps the tension up, because not only are they trying to track down these criminals and solve this mystery of the Pit, but they're also trying to solve each other essentially, and trying to figure out what the other person is hiding from them and that sort of thing. And that's the kind of shows that I enjoy, where there's like a big overarching mystery, but then you have something going on with one of the characters or multiple of the characters, whatever, that eventually does collide with one of the other characters or ties into the main plot in some form or fashion. Another thing I like too is that each of the criminals that they have to track down are all unique and fresh. It's not just, like I said, these are like psychopaths really. It's not just your normal everyday like, oh, he committed a murder and then the cops have to come in and solve it and that sort of thing. It's not a police procedural like, a lot of shows are nowadays. These are some like really sadistic, psychopathic serial killers, and they kind of have to like relearn everything about those criminals in order to figure out like where they might be striking now that they're out of the pit. who they're going after now. Are they going out for revenge on the person that got them sent to the pit or something? Like, they have different motives than they had when they were originally arrested or whatever. So, like, they kind of have to use the information they know about these criminals plus some new stuff in order to figure out how to catch them. And each of the criminals has their own unique motives that kind of keeps them interesting, and really no two criminals on this series are alike. And I think that's what makes each episode really interesting, is that each of these criminals does something different, so you're not just seeing the same thing every time. So there you go, guys. Those are my thoughts on The Hunting Party. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. If you've seen the series, what did you enjoy about it, or what didn't you like about it, that sort of thing. If you haven't seen it and you're a fan of shows like The Blacklist and Criminal Minds and those kind of shows, then I would recommend you check this one out. Like I said, they did just wrap up season 1. I'm sure maybe there will be a season 2. I don't know if it's been announced yet or whatever as of this recording. But anyways, thank you for watching the video, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.